of over 70,000 packed the stadium, always vowed they would return. And against all the odds, the dream has come true. At a cost of £4.6 million, the Valley has been restored to some of its former glory. Today, the Mayor of Greenwich gave the club the final seal of approval when he handed over the all-important safety certificate to Chairman Roger Alwyn. Weather permitting, Charlton's home encounter with Portsmouth on Saturday will be the first match here since September 1985.
This is the document that I think every Charlton supporter really wants to see. Marvellous occasion. It's something we've all been working for, and to actually have this document so we can play football here again is absolutely fantastic.
Are you pleased to have the football club back in the borough?
Couldn't be more pleased. I've been a supporter here since 1947. I watched many games here, and I was obviously very disappointed when they left him 7 years ago. But I'm very, very pleased, and so are the people in the borough, very pleased that they're back again.
The turning point in the long campaign to get Charlton back to the Valley came in April of last year at Greenwich Town Hall. A crucial vote had opened the door for one of the most popular comebacks in the history of English soccer. But nothing has been easy for Charlton, and even when the rebuilding began, the prospects looked bleak when the club ran out of money. It's typical of the club that the fans themselves finally won the day, dipping into their own pockets to the tune of £1.1 million.
Do you think the club is unique?
Oh, I don't think this will ever happen again anywhere else. I think that the situation we was in, where we left and then went to two different grounds, then after a 7-year gap coming back is unbelievable.
Fans and former players alike have all contributed to Charlton's cause. Groundsman Colin Powell was a star of the 70s who set up this goal of the season.
Will there be a tear in the eye on Saturday?
Yeah, there certainly will be. I think there'll be a lot of tears from a lot of people, you know, and we just hope that the players get 3 points, and we'll have a nice drink afterwards and probably talk about the old days again.
To say Saturday's homecoming will be an emotional affair would be a gross understatement. People power has been the real reason behind Charlton's return to the Valley of their dreams, and win, lose or draw, the people of Charlton are determined to make the club's historic return against Portsmouth an occasion to remember. John Gubber for Thames News.
John's been shedding tears all afternoon. In the Coca-Cola Cup, Crystal Palace could meet...
Being applied to the refurbished stadium in preparation for a capacity crowd of 8,000. That's a far cry from the 30s when Lindsay was a season ticket holder. Then they regularly played host to crowds of 70,000. Portsmouth are the opposition tomorrow. The match is a sellout, and police are warning fans not to turn up unless they have a ticket. The England...
Non-league Kingstonian were at First Division Peterborough this afternoon. History will be made tomorrow as First Division Charlton Athletic return home. Since being forced to leave their ground at the Valley back in 1985, they've had to share with Crystal Palace and West Ham. But at last the fans can look forward to their first home game in more than 7 years as the Robins take on Portsmouth in what will undoubtedly be an afternoon swamped in emotion. Here's Steve May.
When the red, red robin comes bobbing along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts robbing his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead, get up, get out of bed, cheer up, the sun is red.
A gift in the end. Total disaster for Jim Hagan.
At last, the end of Chairman Roger Alwyn's long road to get Charlton back to the Valley. It's cost £4.2 million, but nobody at the club is complaining.
Every Charlton supporter is probably wanting to see this day. I mean, to actually see a safety certificate for us to be able to play football back at the Valley probably is very, I mean, a moment in Charlton's history that probably nobody will forget. Certainly I will never forget it.
Certainly, tomorrow hasn't come a day too early for the Charlton Reminiscence Society, a group of supporters and former players who meet at the club's training ground every Thursday and who were a part of Charlton's glory days after the war.
This is the second time they're going back to the Valley. This is, and I hope they're going to stay there now, because we used to be London's premier team.
Well, having followed Charlton right away from when they went to Crystal Palace and then over there, it couldn't come too soon for me to get them back at the Valley, and I had my invitation this morning and I'm looking forward to Saturday's game.
But for another well-known Charlton supporter, work commitments will mean that even if he had tickets, he wouldn't be able to witness the great return.
I'm rehearsing tomorrow, my pantomime, but I'd love to be here. I can't get a ticket anyway, it's sold out completely, 8,100 people in rehearsals. I should just keep nipping off and putting the earpiece in. This is Charlton's youngest supporter, because he's only joined today. He's called Carl? He's called Carl now, and he's come from Australia, he's my nephew. So it's the first time he's been to a British football ground, and this is the best one I could have brought him to.
Whoever's written the story for this, about getting us back, I just hope he's got the ending right, and I hope the ending's 3 points against Pompey on Saturday for us.
When the red, red robin comes bobbing along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts throbbing his old sweet song. Wake up, you sleepyhead dead.
Hello and welcome to the London match on a very emotional weekend for followers of Charlton Athletic. It's been 7 years since they've been able to come here to the Valley and watch their team play. And the fans themselves have made a massive contribution towards Charlton's homecoming. Today's match against Portsmouth for them is the realisation of a dream.
I've supported them since 1946, my dad tells me. I was 2 years old. And I only regret is I missed the cup final they were in. But I never thought it would happen, and I'm so pleased it has. It's a very emotional day for me.
This is the big day that we've all waited for. We've marched several times, put several protests in. Eventually we're here, and it's all really been worthwhile.
I've spoken to one or two people who've gone a bit misty-eyed on me today.
Everybody is, yeah. I just walked down past the station, you know, the old route, you know, and everybody's just over the moon. You know. Amazing.
How hard was it for you going to Selhurst Park and to Upton Park?
It was terrible. Upton Park was an improvement, but it was still nothing compares to being at home, does it?
Right. And even to someone of your age, coming back here to the Valley means a fantastic amount.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much tradition here, so much history. It's just brilliant to be back.
It's broken my heart when they closed this ground down, and naturally I've moved heaven and earth to be here today, and it couldn't be a better day.
Well, you can see there what a special occasion this is to all those fans. Inside the Valley, by the way, not a seat to be had. It's been an 8,000 sellout for weeks. As always on the London match, we'll be showing you the best action from the rest of the First Division. But now let's concentrate on the realisation of a dream. Charlton Athletic, back where they belong. The Valley, an old chalk quarry capable of accommodating 75,000 crowds. Charlton, with Bartram, Fermani and Leary, a major force in the 40s and 50s. September the 21st, 1985, they're out. The fans preserve a few precious memories. The famous old ground is left to rot. The board can't acquire the freehold of the site. A superb playing surface rapidly deteriorates into a horticultural jungle. The new home at Crystal Palace witnesses a footballing miracle. Somehow, Lenny Lawrence's team is promoted to the First Division. They stay up too after peering over the relegation precipice in the playoff final against Leeds.
Walsh runs over it. It's now left for Peake. Oh, it's a good one! Oh, it's the goal, which might well have preserved First Division football for Charlton Athletic, and it's Peter Shirtliff again.
Charlton still in the First Division. Now there's the financial platform for another chapter in this extraordinary story. March 88, 2.5 years since the gates closed at the Valley. The ground is still in a dreadful state, but the freehold has been purchased by the new owners, who are absolutely determined to go back home.
A club has to have a home. I will come and go, the board will come and go, the players will come and go, but I'm absolutely certain that a club has to have an identity, and its identity is its ground. And the Valley, of course, has some very special memories for all the Charlton supporters.
A plan for the new valley is submitted to Greenwich Council. It includes commercial development. There's a slap in the face for the fans when the scheme's turned down. That leads to the creation of the Valley Party. Marches, meetings, petitions reveal the depth of support for the club. It's a professional, well-orchestrated campaign that's envied by established political parties, designed to drive at the heart of the council. The Valley Party is a huge publicity exercise, but it works a treat.
Good morning. My name's Kevin Fox. I represent the Valley Party. If I could get your support, then I'll...
That support translates to nearly 15,000 votes in the local elections. Now the council have to sit up and take notice. Autumn 1990, a revised scheme for the valley is submitted. It's scaled down. There's less commercial development. In April 91, the fans packed the council chamber. The tension shows as they await the decision. Yes, it's back to the valley at last, but a new stadium has to be built on that beloved patch of ground in SE7. There's another huge setback. The club can't meet its financial deadlines. The building work stops. So the long-suffering fans are on their travels again. Upton, not Selhurst Park, is the next rented address for London's nomads. And now the board asks the fans to find the cash that will ensure a permanent homecoming. The supporters are given an opportunity to stake their claim in the club's future with the Valley Investment Plan. In these tough times, the fans still deliver more than £1 million. Another example of the loyalty and optimism that enables the chairman to announce the big day's arrived.
It's the 5th of December, which is their first match, will be against Portsmouth.
Very much against the odds. Everything's ready for the Pompey match. Charlton are back in business where they belong, but they know they've got to keep grafting. They mustn't stand still.
Getting back there and 8,000 seats with a temporary stand and just 3 sides is only the start. And we've got enormous amount of work to do. I mean, we're already looking at what we can do on the East Terrace. We have the plans already and we have a consent for the West Stand. But that's all time. I'm sure the battles haven't finished. I mean, this is only the start.
But just after 12:15, the chairman leads the first fans through the gates and back to the Valley of Smiles. Well,
of course, amid all the celebrations here, there's still a match to be played and precious points to be won. It's coming up to kick-off time now, and we're going to take a very privileged peep inside Charlton's brand new dressing room.
Listen, after the first 5 or 10 minutes, as I said to you before, the tempo, let's try and keep it going again. So if we are
Alan Kirbish's message is very clear. These players need a win. They've only won once in the last 10 matches. A season that started so well is in danger of collapsing.
Let's have plenty of shots. Come on, shot.
There's no need to tell them about wearing the new kit with pride. The names of all these players will be remembered for a very long time as the team that brought Charlton back to the Valley in December 1992. The atmosphere's exactly right. There's a smattering of humour, covering a fierce determination to do the job and make this the perfect homecoming. There's a final word from reserve team coach Keith Peacock, one of many Charlton favourites who get a wonderful reception from the crowd. The sight of the red shirts running out again at the Valley is the one moment everyone's come to see. A time for misty eyes and lumpy throats. Charlton have been on their travels for 2,611 days. 2,611 balloons drift into the South London sky. The exile's over. Your commentator once stood on the vast East Terrace watching the Busby Babes in a 55,000 crowd. He's as happy as anyone to be back there behind the mic for this one. It's Brian Moore, of course.
Yes, happy days are here again, and these are the teams for this historic occasion. First with Charlton Athletic, with Bob Boulder in goal. Number 2, Darren Pitcher. 3, Scott Minto. 4, Steve Gritt, the first start he's made since last February for Charlton's joint manager. 5, Simon Webster, the captain. 6, Stuart Balmer. 7 John Robinson, 8 Lee Power, a striker on loan from Norwich, 9 Carl Leaburn, 10 Gary Nelson, and 11 Colin Walsh. What about Portsmouth then, with Alan Knight in goal, 2 Andy Awford, 3 Ray Daniel, 4 Alan McLaughlin, 5 Kit Symons, 6 Steve Agnew on loan from Blackburn, 7 Warren Neill, 8 Mark Chamberlain, 9 Colin Clarke, 10 Guy Whttingham, and 11 Gavin Maguire. Portsmouth on a really good run. They've moved up to 7th in the table, and in Whttingham they've got a striker with 21 goals this season, only 4 fewer than Charlton have scored overall. The subs for Charlton Athletic, Kim Grant and Alan Pardew, and Chris Burns and Paul Walsh, who began his career at Charlton, indeed was their top scorer in 81-82. They are the Portsmouth subs. Referee Alan Gunn of South Chailey in Sussex. 8,200 packed out here at the Valley. What a return this is. But now it's down to business as Portsmouth get us underway. Charlton in a new strip today in the old style, back to the Valley on the logo. And incidentally, all these Charlton shirts that are being worn today are later going to be raffled to improve the club's funds. Some 6,000 replica shirts also on sale here. They're doing everything they can to get the finances right. But it's a day when a few ghosts and a few memories will be stirred, but it's also a day when Charlton are desperately in need of points. Unbeaten in their first 12 this season, and now they've lost 8 of their last 10. It really would be poetic justice of the finest sort if they could pick up 3 points here against Portsmouth today. Carl Leaburn with the throw for Charlton. Lee Power at the near post. Flicked the header on there, and it's Pitcher who puts it wide of the goal for the goal kick to Portsmouth. Alan Gunn calling Darren Pitcher to him for something there. I think he was unhappy with. At any rate, he's given a free kick, an indirect free kick to Portsmouth, which Gavin Maguire is lining up to take. Andy Awford just behind him. It's Maguire who's taking it, floating in there towards Clarke. It was Leaburn who'd gone back to help the defence, who got it away. Power sliding it through. I'm not sure whether he got a touch, but there's certainly a touch here now for Robinson. Crossing it in there towards. Oh, and a good header by Gary Nelson. And down went Knight to save. Almost the perfect start for Charlton there. What a great run it was by Robinson, and he slung in an excellent cross too. And the save by Knight. Gritt towards Leaburn. Certainly got the pace and the power. Finding Pitcher, and a shot, and a goal by Walsh for Charlton, and it becomes the perfect start. Well, they've dreamed about this for so long. After 7 long years of playing at Selhurst and playing at Upton Park, they're back at home in the finest possible style. Walsh's goal into the corner of the net, and something like 7 minutes gone. Played there by Pitcher, and Walsh took full effect. 1-0 to Charlton. Power. Nelson, who's looked really lively. Leaburn's waiting in the middle, and Warren Neill had to get back there and keep Charlton at bay. Colin Walsh's first goal of the season. He really does choose his moments. Whttingham, cut out by Gritt. There's a real purpose about Charlton now. So many weeks when so little has gone right for them, so suddenly they're back at home and feel very much at home. A perfect start and a goal that was perfectly made. Gritt with the throw, Whttingham knocking it away. Kerbishley, along with Steve Gritt, the joint managers here at Charlton. And he'll be delighted with that start. He was talking in the dressing room before half-time about maintaining a tempo, and that's exactly what Charlton have done from the kick-off. The ball in from Leaburn and then to Pitcher, and there the perfect shot of it as it goes beyond Knight. That's a great shot. Towards Leaburn, knocks it on well with his head. Nelson was trying to get in behind them. Finds Walsh. Minto playing it in towards Leaburn, and an offside flag is up. But at this stage of the game, Charlton are certainly looking the business. They look a good act. Being pushed forward on a wave of emotion. And it was going to be difficult for them today, but they've managed to put all the emotion and all the other factors behind them and are concentrating well on their game. McLaughlin, high hanging cross there. Clarke won it in the air, but only at the expense of a push on Webster. It's Charlton's free kick. Foul on him. It looked to me a little like a slip, to be honest. But Charlton have been awarded the free kick right on the edge of that. Behind it, Walsh has already scored behind it. Webster's coming up as well. Fancy Walsh might fancy a left-footed dip at this one. And Gunn wanting the Portsmouth wall fully back. Charlton needing another goal for that little bit of breathing space. It's going to be Walsh. He's curled it! And he's curled it against the post. A brilliant effort, but not quite good enough. Excellent free kick for a man who's suddenly banging form with one goal already, and so close, as you can see here. And a super shot of that curling ball, just clipping the outside of the post. First half left. Chance here now as Neill plays it there. Agnew almost got in, and Charlton some last-ditch defending there. But to be fair to them, there were plenty of bodies around. There were at least 4, maybe 5 people there capable of getting that one away. But that's the first real scare that Charlton have had in this game. Leading by a goal to 0. Walsh the scorer after 6. Pitcher, it deflected off a colleague, and well, it was knocked away by Webster when Whttingham suddenly thought a little tap-in was presenting itself to him. Worrying moments these for Charlton. Agnew keeping that pressure on, digging that ball forward. Gritt couldn't win it in the air. Again it deflected off the Charlton player. There's a flag up for an offside. No, the flag wasn't, but the whistle had gone just as Agnew burst through. Well, all ages here today, and all will take away memories of their own, and the older ones certainly will take away some memories too. Daniel, he almost played that into trouble and may have done it. It's on the left foot of Walsh again, just wide of that Portsmouth goal. And surely a problem there of Portsmouth's making. And in Walsh's form today, a dangerous thing to do, to give him the opportunity of getting it onto his left boot. It's Daniel who was the culprit, and Walsh couldn't curl it quite enough. Neill forced back, and in the end goes for the throw. He might tempt Leaburn across there. No, Scott Minto's going to take this one. Got quite a good throw on him as well, but this time it's a shorter one to pitcher Minto. And Portsmouth just happy to hit that one clear as the whistle goes for half-time. And a very good first half it's been for Charlton. They've shaded it, and they've scored the only goal after 6 minutes through Colin Walsh. It was a good move involving Carl Leaburn, and then Darren Pitcher playing a short ball into the path of Walsh, and Walsh's shot beating Knight all ends up. The only score of the first half as Charlton return to the Valley. It's Charlton 1, Portsmouth 0. Welcome back to the Valley. Charlton leading them by a goal to 0. Andy Awford for Portsmouth. Charlton in fact completed the double over Portsmouth last season with a 3-0 win at Upton Park and a 2-1 win at Fratton, and leading here again at the Valley this afternoon. It's been a real rush to get things ready on time. Colin Powell, the old favourite, who is the groundsman here now, in fact gave the pitch its last cut at 11 o'clock on Friday night under floodlights, and workmen were still working here at 2 in the morning. Gritt getting the ball forward again very cleverly there to Robinson. Turns Daniel well, hooks in the cross, and a fine save from Power's header. A terrific break that by Charlton. In the first place, Steve Gritt's ball along the touchline, and Robinson's cross-in was an absolute beauty. And so too was Power's header. Wasn't much wrong with the Knight's save either. Gritt jumps, times it so well. Leaburn just knocking it on this time for Gary Nelson. Power's waiting in the middle, and it might come for Leaburn. It might still come for him, and in the end they get it away. But Nelson turning it in again. That came off a defender, and a couple of the Charlton players saying, if only you just floated it in the middle for us. But Gary Nelson tried for the spectacular. Leaburn's down injured. So close there to the second goal that you feel Charlton might need. Gary Nelson's cross in the first place. It was just too high for Lee Power. A little bit of shoving going on there. And then it falls here for Leaburn. But Portsmouth just hold him up. And he obviously stretches and strains there as he went in for that challenge with Alan Knight. And then when the Charlton players wanted a little dink in there, that's where Gary Nelson put it. But Leaburn's all right. Paul Walsh is warming up for Portsmouth. Gritt. Substitution about to be made. Paul Walsh. Yes, here's Walsh. And Agnew goes off. Neill. Minto. An offside flag against Lee Power. Not taken from anything like the right place, but Gunn allowed that to go on. Balmer just sticking out a foot, getting it away. Colin Walsh again for Charlton. Tries to get Leaburn on his way. Nice bit of play here by Carl Leaburn. Can he finish it off though? Into the path of Gary Nelson. Down he goes. No penalty. Pitcher playing it back for Colin Walsh. Best little spell this for Charlton for quite a few minutes. Portsmouth had begun to look more and more dangerous. Certainly having more of the game, but here's Minto for Charlton. Power. Nelson. Minto. Played into Leaburn. Can he turn this one? Power with a shot, and it cannoned off a Portsmouth defender when it looked to be goal bound and went behind for the corner. I think it's an injury there to Ray Daniel. So nearly number 2 this for Charlton. Good play, held it up well, did Leaburn, and it just deflected off the Portsmouth defender when Power looked to be slotting it home. Here come Charlton with the corner now. Webster first to it, didn't quite get a touch on it. Portsmouth get it away. Gritt chasing. And Daniel's going to hobble off. Chris Burns will come on. He plays down that left-hand side, but usually a little further forward than that. The young and the not-so-young have come here for this memorable day. Hopefully they can cheer Charlton on to a famous victory. Walsh, will it come for Whttingham again? Free kick given which way? Portsmouth's way. Problem for Charlton. Chris Burns lined up behind this. Colin Clarke fancies a dig at it. Mark Chamberlain's in there too. Maguire's got quite a dig on him. Very anxious moments these. Chamberlain. And it came off the Charlton defender, through the wall, behind for the corner, which Walsh is scampering away to take. Clarke will be a target. Burns is in there too. But Nelson got his head to it, and his head to that as well. Trying to hold up Walsh. It's another corner. Deeper corner this time towards Burns. But that time Balmer got a very valuable header in for Charlton. Still the home side are being pressed back, and still Portsmouth are coming at them looking for this equaliser. And now Charlton gets some respite with a free kick. This was the shot that just clipped off the back of Gary Nelson and behind for that corner. Maguire to McLaughlin. Neill getting it wide towards Whttingham. A good tackle and a good interception there by Minto. And a good cross by him towards Pardew. A wonderful save again by Knight. Terrific move again by Charlton. Portsmouth might be having the better of it territorially and looking increasingly dangerous, but they are spitting back from time to time, Charlton, and it's a lovely cross in there by Minto, and the header by Power saved well by Knight. Minto getting it away, right-footed up to Power. Here's Walsh, he can hold it for a little while. Leaburn's made the break for him through the middle, and on the far side, well, he's picked up Robinson, but so too had Chamberlain, and done so well. But it's knocked in again there. Power with a shot. Oh my goodness! How did that not cross the line? He was actually on the ground, Power, sliding round. It needed just a touch, no more than 6 inches or so to get it over the line. Referees looked at the watch again. It's 2 minutes of time added on. Balmer gets that one away, almost up into the commentary box here. And again, Charlton just look around to make sure that everybody's marked up. in these last few seconds. Another look at the referee's watch. The ball trapped up here amongst the scaffolding somewhere just beneath us. Charlton, who've lost 8 of their last 10, only 1 win, and that was against Leicester City in those 10 games. Everybody urging that referee to blow the final whistle, and he's blown it, and Charlton have won it. The perfect homecoming for Charlton Athletic. A victory with that goal after 6 minutes from Colin Walsh. They hit the post as well, they had goal-mouth scrambles, they took a lot of pressure from Portsmouth. Steve Gritt, the joint manager, a perfect game at right back. And the smiles have truly returned to Charlton Athletic and to the Valley as they go right around the pitch now to say thanks for coming and we're glad to be back. It's been a wonderful day in the history of Charlton Athletic, one that anybody here is not going to forget for a long, long time. Were you there the day they returned to the Valley? I was, and I saw them win. Colin Walsh, one of 11 heroes there on the pitch today, as Charlton come back in style with a victory. And the final score, Charlton Athletic 1, Portsmouth 0.
Steve, your first full game for some while, and what an occasion you chose.
Yeah, superb. I couldn't believe the atmosphere when I ran out today. It was unbelievable. And I was a little lost for words at the end when 1 or 2 people wanted to speak to us. It's going to make everyone's weekend.
It must have been very hard, though, for the players to divorce themselves, if you like, from the celebrations here.
Yeah, we've tried to sort of not let them get too wrapped up in it. I know it's very difficult. But it hasn't been too hard because a lot of the players obviously haven't played here before in a Charlton shirt. I think 1 or 2 have played for other clubs. So it was probably going to be a new experience for a lot of them as well.
Colin, I don't know if you're a quiz man or not, but your name will come up as the fellow that got the first goal when Charlton came back to the Valley.
Yeah, that's right. Steve Gritt's just reminded me of it. It should have been him as a fairy tale. But yeah, it was a fair strike. It was a good build-up, and we're just pleased that we've won the game.
A fair strike, you say. I think we can have a look at it down here, and the old left peg still working a treat.
Yeah, that's right. Dan Pitcher's done really well to turn. I've pointed to where I wanted it, and I just hit it as hard as I could, and I just couldn't believe it from it in.
You get another look at it here?
Yeah, Dan's done really well here for a limited player that he is, and he's placed it straight in the path, and it's went in the goals. I think Stephen Allen's done a great job with us this week. They've just calmed everything down, because I think Stephen was a bit over the top today, because I've never seen a 44-year-old run about like that. And the two of them have just calmed it down all season, but we had a job to do, and I think we've done it well.
We've slipped up a little bit recently. We lost the last 4 games, so it was important we got ourselves back on the right road again. But we've got to go on from this now. You know, we can't make sure that this is a one-off. We've got to carry on from today and hopefully push ourselves back up the league again.
OK. Steve, thank you very much indeed. A lot more still to come this afternoon. The rest of the First Division, the best action from there, and the Coca-Cola Cup goals from the week as well. We'll be right back with that very shortly. West Ham, but the First Division looking really good for London sides. West Ham, Millwall, Charlton, and now Brentford, all up there in the top 12. OK, let's keep the action going for you. Your first real chance, really, to see the Coca-Cola Home and Away. It's a tremendous book by the club statistician Colin Cameron. 1920 to 1992, every Charlton team is there. The celebrations still continuing, aren't they, Mr. Chairman? A dinner tomorrow week and a few tickets still available, but just sum up really what this whole day has meant to you and to Charlton.
I think it's been a marvellous occasion for everybody involved with Charlton, and the result of a lot of hard work from everybody. I mean, the fans. You know, it's been absolutely brilliant.
It's worth emphasising that hard work was going on right up to the kick-off, wasn't it?
Well, in fact, the last bit of tarmac was actually laid at 10 o'clock this morning. But it was always going to happen.
Was there a period when you wondered, Are we ever going to really get back here? Is it ever really going to happen?
Oh, in the last few years, I think there have been lots of times when we actually wondered whether the club was going to be here, let alone getting back to the Valley. But having done it, this is only the start, of course. I mean, we've got a lot of hard work now. I just hope everybody that came today, I hope they've enjoyed it, and I hope they want to come back. And as long as we can keep winning, I'm sure they will.
Thanks very much, Guy. Well, exciting FA Cup news this weekend, with both Spurs and Arsenal facing the prospect of non-league opposition in the third round. But the real glory belongs to Charlton, back home at last with a 1-0 victory over Portsmouth.
When the red, red robin comes bobbing along, along.
The morning of an historic day. Just a few hours to go before kick-off, and rather more than just the finishing touches to be made. But on the pitch there's more of an air of calm, even though part of it had only been laid the previous evening. But what you see is due to the extraordinary devotion of the Charlton fans.
The number of people that have been involved in getting us back here, I mean, apart from the financial side of it, just the volunteers that have worked here for the last 5 or 6 weeks, painting, and they were here until midnight last night just cleaning the place up. Quite extraordinary performance.
A great day for Charlton today, isn't it?
Wonderful day. Didn't think it'd ever happen.
I've been crying all week. You just can't describe it. What it means to so many people that have put so much, not just money, but the belief that this is where the club belong. There's people here that are going to make it work.
I met my husband here in 1964.
So did Abby. Great,
yeah,
really?
Right, yeah. We've got a lot to answer for, this place.
Here to write a column for Monday's Guardian, one of Charlton's more noted season ticket holders and a loyal fan for over 43 years. What were your feelings 7 years ago with that match against Stoke City, your last game here?
Devastating, absolutely devastating, yes. It was just like, you know, a piece of your life been taken away, really. It's a very emotional attachment.
On the stroke of 3 o'clock, the dream was fulfilled as the players took to the field. Steve Gritt, the only one of Charlton's team to have played here before. And how fitting that after 7 years, they only had to wait until the 7th minute for the fairy tale to come true. Colin, you realise you've made the history books today?
Yeah, that's right. Everybody's reminded me of that. But I think it was just a great day for the club, the chairman, everybody.
2 consecutive home wins on the trot at the Valley. Stoke 2-0 7 years ago. Not bad going.
Yes, absolutely. Unbeaten in 7 years at home, yes. Not bad record. Terrific result.
And it was a great day down at Charlton.